Welcome to the Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Today we have my mother back.
Hi.
Yay! You guys loved her episode. Her episode has gotten quite the buzz. You guys also want my dad to come back. He will come back when he has time. And I have some great topics we'll talk about with him. But you guys loved her ideas and topics and what she had to say, with the scenarios. So we got more scenarios for her. Oh, and boy, are these going to be juicy.
Mm-hmm.
We're really going to put her to the test. All right. So, before we start, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has downloaded the podcast on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, because we have hit 1,000 downloads. Yay! That's a huge milestone for me. The fact that I started the podcast in August and it's November and we've already hit a milestone like that is great, and it's amazing. That is a huge milestone. Thank you guys so much, and I owe it all to you guys. You guys make it happen, and I love it. I love it so much. But please just keep supporting. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Keep supporting. Stay on, Patreon is moving and grooving. We have some people on there that have sent scenarios today for my mom to go over. And we're going to go over those at the end of the show. But right now we have a thread. And this thread I feel you can kind of relate to.
Okay.
Because of maybe other coworkers. But this thread is people that had sex with coworkers.
Oh, Lord. No.
How did that turn out? Okay, so the first one is I was a young airman at a first base in California.
Military.
And I worked with a girl, let's call her Sarah, who was way more attractive than anyone in my small town in Missouri. For some reason, she was into me. She was into a few other dudes too, but
some reason.
But at the same time, it didn't matter because I was 19 and stupid, and she was a few years older and far more sexually experienced than I was. We had sex a few times and sort of dated, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Hooked up.
And I was heartbroken, but cool with it. This was right after 9/11, so U.S. military operations were starting to ramp up, and Sarah got deployment orders. They didn't tell her where she was going, but she was on the hook. Her reaction to the news was to tell our chief that she was pregnant with my kid. So she didn't have to go. Oh my God. Dang.
Was that true?
I don't know. We're about to see. The chief came to me and asked if I'd go to her place. I said I was, as I said, I was 19, and even though I was a little scared, I signed the dotted line and told him, of course, I'd take the deployment. So he took the deployment for her. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Did he see a pregnancy?
So it turns out the deployment was a NATO base in Naples, Italy, where I'd be paid $80 per day on top of normal paycheck. As soon as Sarah found out where I was heading, she called the chief and told him she wasn't pregnant anymore and would like to take the deployment. The chief denied her request, and I spent an amazing 8 months in Italy being paid more money than I knew what to spend with.
You're bad.
Wow.
Okay.
So he met this girl. She's a little older. He's 19.
Yeah.
They hooked up a little bit here and there. 9/11 happens. They're like, Sarah, you got to get deployed. And she's like, oh, well, I can't because I'm having his baby. And then he's like, oh, shit. Well, I was going to her house and, having sex with her. So I guess so. I'll take the deployment, in her stead. And then she finds out, oh, it's Italy. Like, no, never mind. I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm ready to go. Like,
yeah.
What do you think about that?
You get what you get, that was karma, instant karma. In your face.
Oh my God.
You want to be shiesty and all that, you using that poor boy in more ways than one.
Oh my God. Yeah.
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 That's You got some growing up to do, ma'am.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't care to verify her pregnancy and all
That's
that,
what I'm
or
saying. Like, this is the military. Like, I would think
they
they
took
would.
your word for it?
Yeah, I think they would kind of verify
Okay.
something and make sure that, hey, you know,
would think.
is this legit? Like,
Yeah.
are you guys
And that
really-
poor boy was probably so happy, you know? Like,
True. Like, oh shit, I'm about to have a kid. Like,
yeah.
wow, okay.
You can't play with emotions like that. I mean, women really, really grow up with that, you know?
yeah. And she was older than him, so it's like, wow.
You
expect
involved
that.
a fictitious baby, like
Just because you didn't want to get deployed.
that is why your karma came back on you, because you upped that ante like that and
Yeah.
involved a baby and that got messy. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Not today.
man. Okay, next one. Let me see. One of my first jobs was Target. Everyone was banging everyone.
Oh, God.
Thankfully, no awkward moments.
Okay, let me just say.
Oh
My
God.
perspective is you don't shit where you eat, and where you eat is your job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Things could get weird dating an employee or your coworker.
Yeah.
If things don't work out and you guys aren't mature enough to part ways and, you know, keep it amicable. Is that the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for? Okay.
Yeah.
I never, evers date a coworker because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just not, I don't like that uncomfortableness after a breakup, or I don't get excited about the, you know, because you can't date your coworkers at my job, so you have to
Yeah,
sneak
yeah.
around. That wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't a thing for me. Like,
It
no,
wasn't
I just
exciting for
don't
you.
know.
Yeah, because I think that's really what plays into it sometimes too.
Yeah.
Is that it's exciting. They're like, ooh, oh man, like nobody knows. You know what I mean? Like you see him in the hall. And you're
We
like,
know.
oh, I'm sure.
Come on.
I'm sure because at that job, yeah, everybody kind of know everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody in everybody
And
business.
secrets go around and people talk.
Oh yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
game of telephone.
Don't think you're keeping anything.
Yeah, man, it's a big game of telephone.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
that person comes around and you're acting,
Oh
ooh, Johnny's over there. He's so cute.
Oh.
You know, like, come on.
yeah.
We know.
Yeah. Like,
You're having lunch in the parking lot together.
Oh, see, that's
You
a
leave
big
at the
one.
same time.
Yeah, that's a big one. You guys
Come
are
on,
coming
guys.
out of the same car, kind of thing.
Come
like,
on, guys. Yeah.
ooh, oh man.
We know.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. Met through work, dated for a year and a half.
Okay.
She cheated with another coworker who's married.
Eek.
We broke up. She started to date a different coworker, not the married one. She paraded that relationship in my face. Everything was great until it wasn't. Really fucked over my self-esteem and self-worth for years. Sucked that I had a front row seat to her moving on. Damn.
Okay.
So
Well,
he dated a girl and then she left him for a married man and then left the married man for another guy.
honey, do you not go online? Do you not see that, you know, there's other people besides the people you work with? Hunty, please.
She was
Go,
maxing.
get out of the company pool. Get out of the pool. Because that is just ugly. And she might not have even meant to hurt his feelings or flaunt it in front.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But that's just the way it is. You're you know, around each other, and you know, you have feelings for your person that you've moved on with, you
Yeah,
know, and it
yeah.
hurt his feelings, you know, and maybe
Yeah.
she wasn't sensitive to that or whatever.
Oh hell no! The fact that she was
Yeah.
dating a married guy, no, I don't. She ain't got a sensitive bone in her body. She was dating a married man, like probably parading it around too. Like, ooh, I can steal a married man. Shit, I'm that girl. Like,
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm sorry. Sorry
Oh,
to tell
that is-
you.
Woo!
burst your bubble there, but
Woo!
no.
Oh my
That's
lordy.
just dirt. It's just, messy.
Yeah.
Honey, get your life cleaned up. I don't understand.
All right, on to the next one. I had resigned and was leaving the company anyways, but it was one of those classic hookups at a company party. Had fun for a while, but then she decided to stop seeing me. I'm glad that I had left the company by then. Otherwise, things would have been messy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did it right. He was like, look, man, if I'm going to be messing with her, I'm going to leave the company and mess with her.
Well, he knew he was already exiting, and he may
Yeah.
have been interested in that girl and was like, okay, I know I'm leaving anyway. Let me make my feelings known just in case there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't go into it intentionally messy.
Yeah.
You were thinking with more than just one head.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, we know how that goes.
Yeah. We do. Yeah.
Let's see. No good. She got with another coworker and is still with him. Had the chance to go on a date with a recent coworker, but said no. Then went home and had a wank.
Had a what?
This man was like, I will not be tempted by you. I will go home and beat my meat.
Oh, good idea, dude. Good idea.
He said, let me get some post-nut clarity first before I make this decision to go on this date.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I give it to the guy. Like,
Because you don't want him to be making your decisions for you. And if that's what you have to do that.
yeah,
So you can think clearly. Because, wow, she was a company pool swimmer too.
Oh, yeah. Man, that seems very
Guys,
prevalent.
get out of your jobs. That is not your life.
I know.
That is not where your forever person's going to be. I mean, maybe in 10% of the cases or so. I don't have any stats, but I'm assuming that's what it is because it never works out. You see them at work, you see them at home, you see them all the time. That's probably why it doesn't work, and then they see your work husband because that's a thing, your work wife, whatever.
Yeah.
That gives you, special favors, extra pens or pencils or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, I do sometimes can see it because
if you're mature enough.
at my job, those guys work so much that they don't really have time to go out and like meet women. So a lot of times they'll date women in, the job place. So that way it's like, all right, cool. I can
The same department?
Sometimes
Because your job is very huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the same department.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like the apartment adjacent because
Same company, different department.
yeah.
You might have
Well,
a chance.
because a lot of times, they're like pullers, and then the inventory girls work close with them.
Okay.
So it's kind of like
Sure.
they're in different departments, but they work so close with each other. It's like they always see each other. They're always able to talk to each other. But at the same time, you're not really seeing them all the time.
Yeah.
You are, but you aren't. And I've noticed that a lot because there's a lot of married couples that are literally like my boss is like that. He's in our department and his wife is inventory.
You got to make specific me time.
Yeah.
If you work with your partner, you got to have your specific, okay, I'm going here with my girls or my sister or whatever. And you're going to go with the guys and, have a drink after work or whatever. You guys have to have that separate. And if you can do that, and if you can cognitively say, this is what I need is space sometimes, and your partner respects that and is cool with that, then that could work.
Yeah.
But when you're 20 nothing and the person you date is your everything,
yeah.
and then, you want to be around him 24/7, all this and texting and whatever, and your first fight and you don't ever see him again,
yeah.
But I got to go to work.
Yeah, and that's the worst of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst of it because you have to see that person damn near every day, especially when you guys break up and it's like,
Who
man.
wants to do that?
You know, then you're calling out and you're just like, forget it. I don't want to do it anymore.
That messes with my money.
Yeah.
No, we got things to do.
Yeah.
People to pay.
Yeah. Oh man, most definitely.
You're just gonna have to see me. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay. I got fired and she got fired, and all 20 guys she had sex with while we were dating were fired. So she was dating him and 20 other dudes, and everybody got
That's
fired.
how he found out.
Because everybody got fired. So apparently he walked into the HR meeting and they're like, okay, so
wow.
Suzanne apparently has been dating all of you guys.
Suzanne.
And
Suzanne.
yeah, we're going to have to let all of you go because it's unfair if we just let one person go. We're going to have to let all you go.
20? Suzanne, 20? Really? That many?
Suzanne's a fake name, but, you know, we're just using that as a placeholder. But
you know, like, wow.
sounds like a Suzanne would do something like that.
Super messy.
Oh, that's terrible.
What is that all about? Like,
yeah.
I am hoping this young lady got sufficiently embarrassed by having all her sexual conquests in front of her at the same time.
Yeah.
And we'll never do that again.
Because them HR meetings are no joke.
Let's
man.
hope. Oh, yeah.
They're no joke. They'll put you right front and center.
They don't care.
All 20 of those dudes, like, it was one
They're
of those.
like, Suzanne, you slept with him? You slept with him, Suzanne?
Yeah.
What about this one? This one too? This one too? Oh, this one twice? Oh, wow. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. They're like, okay, you're fired twice.
Like,
you know?
imagine having all of your exes in one room.
But
That's what she had to go through.
I can't.
Imagine every dude you ever slept with in one room. And then you had to confirm with each dude that you slept with.
I bet you, I bet you they went to a bar afterwards. I bet you.
I bet.
And talked about you like you were dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty hoe rag. Like, come on.
They were probably comparing timelines and shit and all
goodness.
kinds of shit. Like, yo, she was dating you at like the tail end of me, and then she got with you, and then, you know, two of y'all at the same time.
Yeah.
But I was dating her. I thought that was my girlfriend. Damn.
Yikes. Wow.
Damn. Wow.
Get it together, Suzanne.
Yeah, I told you these are going to be some crazy scenarios.
This is for reals?
This is for real. These are
For
people
reals?
living life.
Oh my gosh.
Fling with a sexy food service felon at one of my first jobs resulted in my first orgasm and my car getting totaled. Wow.
Okay. That's a lot of stuff going on here.
Man, so she was like, the D was so good, I let homeboy use my car and he crashed it.
First of all, the felon does it for me. Like,
thank you.
really?
So many women are just like, oh, I'd date a felon. I'd date a dude in prison. What?
About that. That's, yeah. No.
Like,
No. Unless you knew him previously and you're waiting for him to do his time or whatever. I get that. But to meet and marry and have a relationship with someone, that's
what I'm saying.
no.
How in the
No.
hell?
You need to get out of your house and go meet
Yeah.
for real people in
Yeah.
front of your face and
Look,
not just on the phone.
Look, I get dating apps are horrible and they suck, but they're better than dating a dude in prison.
100%.
Like, I mean, I guess they try to rationalize it though. Like, I can't cheat on me in jail.
This is why it's the problem, though, because your self-esteem is so low.
Yeah.
Apparently, that you're willing to, have your standard that.
Yeah.
What?
Damn.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe these are like real life things.
Same. Okay, next one. We worked together for a couple years and became close friends. We crossed the romance line one night after a lot of drinks. Honestly, it was and still is amazing. Happily married now, 15 years with 2 kids. His worked out.
Totes. And I'm not
His
saying it
worked out.
doesn't. I'm just saying you have to be mature enough.
Yeah.
You know, and it has to be respectful. I know a couple who are married today, have 3 beautiful kids. It could work.
Yeah.
They're no longer with the company, but they made that work, but nobody knew it. And when I mean nobody, I mean nobody knew. Yes, until the wedding invitations went out.
No
And
way.
I didn't even know they were dating. That's how good they were.
Wow.
But they were mature enough
Yeah.
to keep themselves from all that extra frilly shit that you do when you see each other, and the lunches and the this and the that, you know? And
I'm surprised they didn't get recognized like out at a restaurant.
they
or
lived in
just-
another city.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All
They lived
right.
in another city, so
Yeah,
that
makes-
kind of helped.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, because I'm like, you know, that's how it get blown for me. Like, look,
Yeah, seen out in public.
yeah. I would,
Yeah.
they would not know a damn thing, and then
Sure.
they'd see us out in public. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
try not to tell nobody.
Right.
And then, you know,
please?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not how it happens.
Yeah.
Facebook gets a hold of it, and then it's just wildfire after that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
You know, you kind of got to accept it, but yeah, it can work. You know, I've known couples that, you know, have worked out, and, you know, don't know, but my ex-wife did with one of her former coworkers and told me he was better. Wow. So while they were
Wait, say that again?
so okay, I'm gonna break it down. While they were married, she was hooking up with a coworker, and when he found out, she told him he was better.
Oh, you dirty bitch.
She was like, coworker
She just
out here
wanted
smacking.
to hurt him.
Oh.
Because if you tell a man that the other man has a bigger D, makes more money, or is taller than him, you're trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
Because you know those 3 things will kill him.
Ooh, yeah.
So, yeah,
Not
she was
even
just trying to
the
hurt
ego,
him.
just being a man alone.
Yeah, ouch. I mean, that hurts you to your core. That's like telling a woman she's fat. That's how the equivalent right there.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, she was out for blood.
Wow.
Man. Okay, so my wife of over 10 years, whom had cheated in the past, and I forgave her.
Okay.
She got a huge promotion at work, which caused us to relocate. I guess she got tired of me because she kicked me out and we're getting a divorce. 4 months later, I found out that a coworker had a thing for me, so I took a shot. The sex was
Okay.
amazing. It could be that it's been a long time for me since
Could
being
be.
with the wife but basically non-existent for the last few years of marriage. Me and the coworker now have been dating for over a year, and I haven't been happier. So for me, it worked out for the best, and the sex is still great.
Good.
So hey, I mean, it worked out for him. He got out of a shitty marriage, and where he went wrong is the fact that he got back together with her after she cheated. You know, and that is sadly a classic example of why guys can't accept when a girl cheats. You know, because like I said on the episode that you were on, you know, it takes that big threshold for a girl to actually go through with cheating. There has to be so much emotion. The guy has to be so much better. He has to be giving so much more than her partner already, that once she decides to cheat, the relationship is over, because she can't come from being with a guy sexually who she looked at was way better than him and then go back to that.
Right.
She feels like she's settled. She feels like, I'm just doing this because it's comfortable. Yeah, she's never going to look at
Probably
him
the
as
same.
the same ever.
Right.
And then she's going to do it again. And that's just
Maybe.
where he fucked up.
Maybe.
Big time. And this story proves it, if I'm being honest with you, because that's
Okay.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
She literally went up in the ladder and was just like, all right, peace, motherfucker. I'm done with you. I mean, thank God he was able to move on and do his thing, you know,
Yeah.
big ups on you. But
Yeah.
it's just, you know, sadly, that's the reality of it, and a lot of people got to live through that reality. They don't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
I just say you always get what you give. And if she's giving messiness and nastiness, that's what she's going to get back. She's going to move on. Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure. But that's not going to be a healthy relationship because she's not a healthy woman mentally, right? And he moved on and found a wonderful person because he's a wonderful person. Right. So, yeah, I don't think that where he went wrong is giving her another chance. But because you got to, if he said to himself, I got to try, and maybe they had a family and businesses together or whatever, what have you. Yeah. But, where he went wrong is when it happened again. Yeah. That's where, that's done. Yeah. Or you see it happening or you feel her pulling away or whatever, what you're doing isn't working or whatever.
Yeah. I can see it from both sides. It's just, she had a pattern and, it reared his ugly head again. Yeah. Sadly. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Let's see. Worked at a casino as the only male cocktail waiter / bartender. Roughly 8 cocktail waitresses and 4 female bartenders. So he was working with a lot of women. The floor was mostly women between the bar, servers, restaurants, and dealers. Slept with one of the cocktail waitresses for a couple months, even though I knew I had a bigger crush on her than she did on me. Also, I knew I didn't really want a relationship with her for a couple reasons. Evidently, she told some people and gave good reviews. After she quit and moved away, I had more interest than I really knew what to do with and kind of just went for it with anyone who showed interest that I was attracted to, as I knew I had more than a year left. He had more than a year left there. No matter what happened, ended up with 4 more of them over the course of a couple months. Oh, no. One time on shift, I looked around and all 4 were on the floor somewhere. All knew each other, but I'm sure any knew about the whole situation, and none were any false impressions of a relationship as far as I know. So nothing bad came of it. So, TLDR, pretty much, he liked this girl, liked the cocktail waitress. They got to sleep together. And, I'm sure he was trying to develop a relationship, but she was like, look, I'm going to be leaving in a little bit. Yeah. So, but while, she's working her last, let's say, few months, weeks, whatever, she's telling the other girls, like, he's pretty good in the sack. Like, I don't know, man. If I wasn't leaving,
you got next.
Probably not that, but more of just like she was talking him up. You know what I mean? Like, he's good in the bed and this and that.
So she's trying to hook him up?
No, I think it was a thing where the girls were just like, ooh, how was it? Let's say his name's Andrew.
Yeah, girl talk.
Ooh, how was, hooking up with Andrew? How was that? And you're like, girl, he was pretty good. Like, man.
Ladies, keep that business to yourself.
And so when she left,
especially about your guy.
Yeah, so when she left, the 4 other cocktail waitresses were like, I might want to break a little piece off of that. And that's exactly what he did. He had sex
5 girls later.
Yeah, and so then, they all know each other, and they're like, oh my God, I slept with Andrew. Me too. Oh my God, me too. We're all Eskimo sisters.
That's not, no, gross. Ew. Don't be proud of that.
Yeah, that's a real scenario for you. Just what happens. Just what happens. Okay. Yeah.
All right. That's real life.
Yeah. Hey, All right, we're going to do probably 2 more.
Okay.
And then we'll end the thread. Let's see. Not me, but she was working in payroll and he's security. One day, a coworker saw the security guard walking her to her car. Immediately, she was transferred to another branch. However, they continued to see each other. Yeah, this is probably him. Fuck out of here. He's like, not me. This is somebody else. Totally.
Yeah, come on.
I know that I was cool. I know that they continue to see each other. Soon after they got married and finding out that she got pregnant in the next 5 years, they had $3 With me being the youngest, my dad ended up passing away from brain cancer when I was just a toddler. Oh, wow. Oh, so this must have been his dad, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because it said in the next 5 years they had 3 daughters.
And I'm the youngest.
Yeah, with me being the youngest. Okay. So then, this is his parents' meeting story, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually a lighthearted one. Out of all the crazy shit we've had so far,
I know.
that one's pretty lighthearted. I like that,
That is sweet.
Yeah. I mean, rest in peace to his dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Brain cancer and cancer alone is crazy.
I mean, you never know where you're going to meet your person, but if it's messy, that's a no.
Yeah.
If you can keep it mature or you can keep it private and personal, try.
Yeah.
But, I just never wanted to go there, just because I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't seem right to me. And I didn't want to be looked at as that. Like, oh, she dated so-and-so and she dated so-and-so and she dated so-and-so. Like, I always wanted to keep my dating life private.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't... I like the organic meet. I don't like the online meets.
Yeah, and work is probably the most organic you'll get
nowadays.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
but
aside from like school, if you go to college and stuff like that, you can definitely meet somebody organic like that.
There's that.
Yeah,
yeah, a big campus. You break up, probably won't see them again.
Exactly.
If you do, you can,
you can walk the other way.
Yeah.
Hide behind your binder or something. Yeah,
sure.
You'd be all right, but.
Right.
I've had that happen. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, of course you run into your exes. Who doesn't run into your exes? But it's how you respond, when you do. And be the mature person, guys. Come on. Yeah. Don't slash the tires. And, really get over it. Because if you're doing all that, you're not over it.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, geez.
Okay, we're going to do the last one for this thread. Had one good experience, one bad. The first one, we ended up dating for 1.5 years, had tons of fun sneaking around at work, and even though in the end he totally broke my heart, it wasn't a bad experience. The second one, very bad, do not recommend. I thought he would be safer because we were friends. So I figured communication and rules would be no problem. Instead, we didn't communicate at all because we were both so worried about hurting each other's feelings. Ended bad with major assumptions on both ends. And now it's very awkward, uncomfortable, makes me sad. Honestly, I just miss my friend. While the experience can be fun, I don't recommend it. Yeah.
Assumptions, there should be no assumptions.
Well, see, I think she means assumptions as like there were rumors probably passing around and people were in their ears like, oh, Caitlyn was talking to Mark. Did you see that? They were super close.
If you're going to let that get into your relationship, though.
I know.
I mean, that's where the trust comes in. That's where communication comes in.
Which they didn't have.
Yes. That's,
Because they were so afraid of hurting each other's feelings and saying the wrong thing and stuff like that, which...
You gotta be honest, though. Like sometimes honesty isn't the easiest thing, but it has to be said, or you have to bring up the subject. Like you should be able, if you're friends and you can't talk about certain things, are you really?
Yeah.
You need to reevaluate that for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah. And she summed it up. It was just poor communication. They didn't communicate. They weren't on the same page. They were
all bad.
Yeah.
Don't date your friend.
No. Oh man. Yeah, and that's something I wanted to address with you. Do you remember when we were kind of advocating for like, oh, you should give a guy in the friend zone a try? Do you remember that?
When was that?
I don't. Oh, man, there was a guy you knew, and you guys were friends for a while, and he was kind of a friend zone guy, and I want to say mainly me. I think I was advocating like, oh, why don't you give that guy a try, this and that, and
because I friend zone him.
Yeah, but you
can't.
You did
switch
end up.
it.
Well, you did end up giving dude a try, and obviously it didn't work out. Whatever. Yeah. I realize now that was probably the worst piece of advice I had ever gave.
Yeah, because if you friend zone a guy for a reason, you're not attracted to him physically.
Yeah.
And you're doing him a very big disservice if you just date him and try and make yourself.
Yes.
Like, really? Dude,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pass. Like, I want somebody who just feels that way about me.
Because I take
Not they're making
total
themselves.
accountability for that one. I was like,
Yeah.
that was probably the worst advice I had ever given to anyone, and I gave that to my mom. Like, fuck me.
No.
And it was one of those things where like it was so apparent, and I was like, no, you shouldn't date people that you only view as friends, because it's not gonna work. It's not going to change regardless. You're not. My thing is, when you start talking,
We did go back to friends, though.
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people can't do that,
Right?
And that's good that you were able.
We
to
didn't
do
go
that.
too far, though,
and
in the relationship.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was gonna go that far. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest with
Yeah.
you, just because you probably couldn't get yourself to go further.
Yeah.
You're like, I can tolerate kissing you. I can tolerate holding.
It was
hands.
so awkward
Exactly.
because my mind had to think of him in a whole different way.
Yeah.
And it's such a just mind freak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once I started to, okay, maybe I like him. Right? Maybe,
yeah.
Okay, maybe he is cute.
And I was just
has
like,
nice eyes.
because I was talking to my best friend. You guys know from his episode 41, Alex. He struggling with women here, and he's like, and I was like, how do you want to meet a woman? And he was like, I want to like be friends with her, and then we fall in love and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, once you become friends with a girl, that's all she sees you as, is a friend. You kind of have to make it apparently known that, hey, there's
I'm
interest
in you.
Yeah, because if you don't, she's gonna just be like, he's not interested. He just wants to be friends, and that's that. She's never going to see you anything more than that, ever. And so when I had that conversation with him, I immediately thought of you, and I was like, oh my God, I got to take accountability for this. I fucked up big time.
Yeah.
I sat there and told her, why don't you? And I advocated for it. I was beating that horse.
It was nice
dead.
to date someone that we knew so much about each other.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to get to know each other. We could just go and have a great time.
Yeah, the conversations are not awkward.
Yeah.
It's like you guys aren't trying to break the ice.
That was super nice.
Yeah.
Just that instant like mesh.
Yeah.
But to take that into a romantic area,
yeah,
that was the awkward.
I think it's definitely the emotional is there because you guys have a solid friendship, but the physical just can't. Your body knows what you're attracted to. You know what I mean? And when you are just genuinely not attracted to that person, you can love them to the end of the earth.
Yeah.
But if your body's saying, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're not sexually desiring that person, it's not your person.
Or you're trying to make yourself.
Yeah, and that's even worse because now you're having very uncomfortable sex. You're having very uncomfortable kisses and hugs and touches feel just like my skin's crawling.
You just don't think of them as a long-term person.
Yeah.
Because you don't, like, am I going to feel this way forever? Am I going to eventually get over this? Am I going to eventually fall in love? Am I eventually, and who wants their partner to be having all those doubts and questions about what should naturally come?
Yeah.
Between two people.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's why online, I feel so strongly about this. Online did not work for me because, we'd be talking for a week or two. Our schedules would line up. Hey, let's go for coffee and meet up. And it falls flat.
Yeah.
The energy is not there.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for the energy between two souls, two people that draw them to each other.
Yeah.
And you don't get that online.
Yeah, because it's so disconnected.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, it's very disconnected.
Very surface, very, just not deep. And
you go off looks in a small bio, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was some times where I would meet up and that guy was that guy, and I'm like, okay, we talk or date or whatever. Like, yeah, well, not a catfish, but it's just not the same. You have all these conversations like on Catfish. They have all these conversations. They talk how much they love them. And then when they meet in real life, they're like, hi.
Yeah. Because
nice
they're practically
finally meet you.
strangers at this point. Yeah.
But on the phone, you're not strangers.
Yeah.
But in person, you're strangers, So that never translated for me. And all the relationships that I've gotten into have been organic.
Yeah.
We've met organic.
Yeah. Before we get into the scenarios, I want your thoughts on the list of places guys can't take women on a first date.
You know what? I was talking to my partner about this, and I'm just like, who are these women? And what are their expectations? There is no place that I won't meet you. Maybe I won't eat there because I don't eat McDonald's or I don't eat fried chicken or whatever. But
they had
I'll meet you there.
They had pretty decent restaurants on there.
I know.
Olive Garden is a pretty decent restaurant.
Please.
Like, you couldn't take
Cheesecake Factory. What?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, and then there's so many. Like, you can't take a girl
don't
bowling.
know.
You can't take a girl anywhere.
Bowling? Like, come on, ladies. Really? Come on. I think it needs to be established before they get together, because if you're going bowling, obviously I'm not going to wear a dress. I'm not going to, get dressed up. I'm going to go casual. But if we're going to a restaurant, I need to know how to dress for where we're going.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe what they are referring to, but I wouldn't be like, you're not taking me here, you're not doing that, I got all dressed up for this,
right?
Come on, if that's what you're thinking, keep it to yourself and just don't see him again. I don't think this is for me.
So see, this is the full list. And like I said,
Red Lobster, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
ice cream dates. Who doesn't like an ice cream date?
Like, you can't go to a buffet. You can't go to church. You can't celebrate God with your potential partner. You can't do that.
Hookah bar. Like, if that's what you guys like, why? Wingstop. Okay, Wingstop.
And then 22 kills me. Somewhere that requires a long drive. Think about it. If I'm taking you to a nice restaurant, right? And we live I'd say about an hour and a half from LA. LA has a lot of nice restaurants.
Yeah.
If I want to take a girl to a super nice fancy restaurant way out in LA, but it's an hour and a half drive, she's going to sit there and be like, ick.
Right.
Like, what? I'm taking you to a super fancy restaurant. I'm about to drop like $200 on this meal.
They said Waffle Houses at sporting events. You would not want to go to a sporting event.
That's what I'm saying.
If
I would kill to go to a baseball game with a
like,
girl. I don't like baseball,
if
but I
you
do
vibe on that, it's say you're having a conversation, you both like the same sports team.
Yeah.
And he surprises you with tickets. Like, you're going to be like, this is our date. This is first date though, right?
This is first date.
First date.
First
okay.
date.
First date should be coffee, guys.
Thank you.
Especially if you're online. First date should be coffee, or if you don't drink coffee, there's tea.
Yeah.
You can have a muffin. It doesn't have to be coffee. Right? But first date should be small, intimate, and you're talking. Not a movie, not a thing where you can't, have a vibe and a conversation.
Well, see, I want to take there's a great content creator. Man, I wish I remembered his name. But he broke down the reason why a movie and dinner was such a staple in the dating of back then. The reason you go watch a movie and then you have dinner is because the movie is the
Gives
icebreaker.
you something to talk about.
Yes, because think about it like this: when you go out with somebody and you go to a place that sit down and eat, it's awkward because you don't know what to start the conversation with.
I talk a lot, maybe because when you're first getting to know each other, you talk endlessly. Like you don't even want to go to bed because you're on the phone till the sun comes up. Yeah. So, but maybe for awkward.
Yeah, I mean,
people.
Not everybody is going to have that like innate conversation skills.
Okay.
So a movie allows anybody who, whether they're good at conversation or not, to be able to break the ice with that person.
Okay.
They have something common to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously if you're talking about something where like, say I'm talking about something I'm interested in, but she's not really all that interested in it, but she's still listening to it. She's going to take the conversation, but she's not really going to be able to add anything to the conversation. She's going to dead the conversation like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like, okay, shit, what next?
Yeah.
You know, but if we're talking about a movie, it's like, oh, you know, what was your favorite part? Oh, you know, I like this part. What was your favorite part? Oh, I really like this part, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, what movies, you know, are you looking to watch next? And you guys have that icebreaker to continue. And when I saw that video, I was like, dude, that makes so much sense to go see a movie and then have dinner, because now that movie was the icebreaker, the
conversation piece.
Exactly. Yeah. And now you're able to communicate with that person without feeling awkward or weird or have that silence within the date. I don't know. I wanted your perspective. You're a woman. Women, you know, out there are just kind of like so divided over it.
I'm not a Kardashian girl.
Yeah.
I don't date in that tax bracket, I guess you could say.
True.
Not that I wouldn't want to, but I just haven't. So I don't have that expectation up front. Maybe in a relationship I want to, you know, go to nicer places or anniversary or whatever.
I think if you're like a year in, you know, and you guys are really established, you know, you guys are about to have an anniversary type thing, you know, yes, definitely I will take you to
don't take me to Denny's for our anniversary. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Please don't.
But it's like
You're
on
fired.
a first date, I'm not going to take you to the fancy. Like I really want to get to know you.
Yeah, and that it should be. I mean, I could say maybe second or third date, maybe a little more nicer.
Oh, of course, most definitely.
But and what kind of caliber of woman are you dating? Are you dating a Kardashian type woman that is used to men spending $500 a sitting?
Yeah,
you know, and if you're not okay with that, or you're not in that tax bracket, is that the girl you want to be with? Can you keep up with that? And if you can't, remove yourself from the situation, you know? But if she's the kind of woman that will complain, that's not your girl.
Yeah.
Obviously,
big time.
no.
Big time.
Even if you are in that tax bracket and you date a girl in that tax bracket and she's not grateful or just wants to be around you, doesn't care where you go, you know, that's a telltale for her character, you know, and what she's really after.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a boy mom and I say be careful, right, of the traps that, you know, women that haven't grown up well, let me say that, or haven't been raised well.
Yeah, because, you know,
can set.
We're not saying all women.
Right.
A lot of times, and I get this a lot.
Yeah, not all.
I get this commented a lot, you know, whenever I talk about female nature and the way they date. I don't complain in the way women mate select. Not at all. I choose to understand it and find solutions to, you know, pretty much deal with it, if I'm being honest with you. But a lot of women like to comment, oh, not every woman's like that, not every, and I'm like,
definitely not.
No,
definitely
I never say
not.
that. But sadly, a majority of women do think that, and it sucks. There are those diamonds in the rough, most definitely, and I call them few and far betweens, you know. And if you are that few and far between, congratulations, you are one of the good ones, you know. But sadly, the TikTok and Instagram
Well,
era.
they think if they set that standard that that's what they're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that, but you're gonna get a piece of shit dude.
Yeah.
Because you'll settle for anything as long as he's buying you a $500 dinner.
Yeah.
You know, you'll settle for a guy who cusses the waiter out and will later on cuss you out because you want a $500 dinner. Like,
or he's
that's
got a boat.
the trade-off there.
Yeah.
You know, because you attract who you are, right? And if your motives aren't pure, that person that you attracted probably isn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's just, I don't know. I've been seeing this. I've been talking to coworkers about this.
Yeah,
list and
that's
everything.
been
and I was
a
just
thing
like,
too.
Yeah. And so I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, before I talk about this on the podcast, I'm going to bring a woman's perspective on this. So that way you guys don't think I'm being misogynistic or I'm being biased towards women who think that way. Look, if they want to think that way and they want to do that.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I get it. It's hard out
because you're
here.
not going out on a date for a meal. You're going out on a date for a connection.
Yeah.
Okay? And if they're not there for that, then their motives aren't right.
Oh, most definitely.
Right.
I argue a lot of women value the experience over the person. You know, they're like, take me on an experience. I want to see something. What
That's
can
for
you do
later. That's for later.
Thank you. Yes.
Because I don't want all that if I can't connect with you as a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that means nothing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Other women will sacrifice the connection for the things.
Yeah. And then, you know, a lot of women also say that when a guy gives her everything just right up front, that's very unattractive because they look at it like,
What is everything? What do you mean?
think about it like this. Say you go on one date with a guy, right? And then the next date that you guys go on, he buys you a necklace and flowers and chocolates and all this
I
kind of
must have had a really good first date.
but the thing
right.
is a lot of women look at it like, are you just happy to have found me, you know?
Or do you like the things?
Or are you just trying to buy my love? You know,
Right.
because you're that desperate to be with somebody that you're like, I'm just going to buy your love so I don't have to do all the extra
Well, my
stuff.
partner now gave small things.
Yeah.
And
But I'm talking about
little
all
tokens.
up front.
Yeah.
Like second date, dudes just giving gifts and doing all this stuff.
If that's what is, because some people are natural givers and that's how they express their infatuation for you or their feelings for you, is they, you know, give. Maybe because he doesn't know how to express it verbally or he's not comfortable with emotion. So that's how or he thinks that's what is the ticket that's gonna get what he wants. I don't know. This is a tough one.
Yeah, because I mean, I've just seen that a lot of times where women are just like, yo, chill. Like,
what is the expectation behind it? That's the thing, because usually, you know, he's given a gift for something in return.
Yeah, and that's what they feel. They feel like you are trying to buy my love. You are not trying to show me that you're a charming guy, that you're nice, that, you know, you can be a man in a relationship, this, and that.
Yeah.
All you're doing is just trying to throw money at the problem and hopefully it goes away and I date you and this and that. And then, you know, a lot of women don't want to look materialistic a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, whoa, hold on, chill out, dude.
Well, there has to be a whole picture. Like, this is nice and I accept it. I'm happy for it. This is wonderful. But let's talk about this. Let's, you know, because like I said, those things that you're giving me doesn't mean anything if we don't have that connection.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so
They're trying to buy
connection-
that connection.
They're trying to buy that connection, but a girl like me is going to make you, I'm going to pull it out of you. You know, I'm going to pull that emotion out of you because that doesn't mean anything to me. That stuff, I can buy that stuff myself. But if you gave it, if my special guy that I have a connection with me gave me that stuff means more. Right? So, yeah. It just, you got to check his motives, you know, for the things, and you have to have that conversation, like that uncomfortable kind of conversation about expectation. And he'll show his expectation. Like, I gave you the necklace. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So why aren't we naked?
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's not how it works, buddy.
And I can guarantee you, most guys go that route. They're like, "Oh, what do you mean?
Well, because
I spent this money
those
on
women
you."
that created this list, they're like, "Yep, cool. I got the necklace. You get naked." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. They're willing to trade, like I said, things instead of connection. So
yeah,
and it works for some guys. So guys goes with what works.
Oh, most definitely.
Right? They're not trying.
Most definitely.
Very simple creatures. These men are.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, and I would argue women are very simple as well. It's just men overcomplicate women, and they let the paralysis by analysis take over.
Yes.
And so they overcomplicate a woman when women are very simple creatures when you get down to the nitty gritty of what they really want in a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, they really just want a guy who can take charge, who can be an assertive figure in her life, you know, be able to
Security.
Exactly.
Fidelity.
Yeah, they want these things. But see, a lot of guys, though, can't exhibit these traits. And so, you know,
they go with what's easy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And they
Well, I
go
can
with the
give you a
money.
lot of money.
Yeah. And a lot
I
of
can't
women
do
will take
anything else for you, though.
it. Yeah.
You're not getting anything else. And some women are like, cool, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, we got off topic
Okay.
with a little rant, but I was glad that we kind of talked about it because I wanted to talk about that. Okay, so we're going to get into our first scenario here. I slept with my much younger ex-employee and feel like shit. First off, I'm 35 and she's 23. I used to manage a restaurant/bar for many years.
Okay.
While I was managing, I hired a very sweet and nice 18-year-old girl host /bus tables. She eventually became a server. She was always very bubbly, friendly, and nice to me. Me caring about my paycheck more than some young hot girl, I was always professional, even when she would make slight inappropriate comments. I would either call her out on it or just walk away.
You're the manager.
She would make comments like, "You give off daddy energy and I like it." Or, "Sorry I'm late. If you have to spank me, I'll bend over." I, of course, will reiterate that I never engaged in it and told her that her comments were inappropriate. I left to become the GM of a different restaurant about 6 months ago. When I was having my last day, she hugged me, giving me a card, told me how much she was going to miss me, and of course, like everyone else, she did, "Oh, should we totally hang out sometime?" Which you never hang out with ex-employees or coworkers when you leave a company.
Yeah.
I left and haven't really thought about most of them, to be honest with you. So that's the scenario there.
Okay. I mean, he did a good job. He's the manager. Obviously, you cannot date you're a superior and you can't date your inferiors, I guess you call it.
Or subordinate.
Subordinate.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So, he kept it, right? Even though he might have been attracted to her or whatever.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing, ladies. Do not lead with your sexuality. A lot of women get a lot of attention by exuding their sexuality first. Not that you can't be pretty or not that you can't be sexy, not that you can't, have that, but you can't. She was leading with her sexuality, spanking me and all this stuff. You're at work. You think you're going to get a promotion? No. You think they're going to take you seriously? You talk like that? No. Like, that's inappropriate. That's talk for the person you're in a relationship with, not your boss.
Yeah.
You don't talk to that's sexual harassment, to be honest.
Almost definitely, yeah.
In the reverse, right? So, that could get you in trouble, number one. But a woman leading with their sexuality is a telltale that they are insecure, right? Because they don't feel they have anything else to offer you.
True.
Besides that.
True. That is
right?
very true.
Because if they feel they had something more to offer, they would let your standards be the first thing they comes out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Not their boobs and their vagina, like talking about those kinds of things. So if I could say anything to young women is don't lead with your sexuality in dating, even kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, you're not.
Oh,
right? Like,
yeah.
Just stop.
And it sucks because when girls do tend to do that, that's when guys get the wrong idea, and then guys get feelings, and then that's when the guy
what's on your...
Well, he can't handle the rejection, so then, he gets a little grapey, and you know what I mean? And he's like forcing himself on you and things like that. And that's when girls get hurt,
Well, they lead with their sexuality, and then they get upset that you're going on that subject. And then they're like, oh, he's a creep. He's talking about sex. Like, you just talk, what?
Yep.
Because they'll flip that switch on you.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. Like, okay, you could talk about it, but then when I respond, I'm a creep.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So watch what you put on your social media, the pictures that you put, the sexual suggestiveness of your pictures, because when you're fishing for a husband, what is your bait? Right? What kind of man are you going to get with that bait?
Yeah.
Because what you put out there is what you're going to get. So if you put that sexuality first, you're going to only get men that want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be crying, why am I only getting that kind of man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's why a lot of OnlyFans girls think, I'll find a husband eventually. And it's like, no, because they won't, though, because you have to understand the guys that are interested in them are only interested in them in a sexual way. They know nothing else about them.
They're not going to be doing OnlyFans forever, though.
Of course, but you have to understand they set that precedent of this is who I am.
Yeah.
And this is all I have to offer the world. She made $1 million here and there, whatever the case may be, and she's successful in the eyes of monetary gain and things, but in
some
a relationship
women take
sense,
that money and they parlay into another career or into another business venture. Nobody stays in that career.
Yeah, but the stigma is still there, sadly. I mean,
sure, but are you gonna judge a girl or a girl that you dated who's out of that life and now is 35 and a college degree and owns her own business or whatever, and that's how she got there?
Most definitely. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. When you are in a relationship with somebody, the difference between you and, say, someone else is sexual access to that person. Would you agree?
Right.
Okay.
But if she's not on the thing anymore.
But here's the thing. The content that she did previously, and that's already been out and saved by tons of men, they now have sexual access to a woman that I should be the only one who has sexual access to. Regardless if it was in the past or if it's now, they still have sexual access. They know what her vagina looks like. They know what her boobs look like. They know what she sounds like moaning, things like that. Because obviously these men are not going to just subscribe to that. They're screenshotting. They're looking at it, downloading it, whatever the case may be. And so it's like, for me, I feel like I'm not getting that exclusivity out of that woman.
Yeah, but when you're 35, you're not going to get that exclusivity, even if you're not a girl that's been on these websites. So, in
what way am I not going to get her exclusivity? If
because
she's never done that
35 and had previous partners. And if you live in the same city for your life, you're going to have a sexual past.
Well, of course, but that I feel is very different between
I think when you're young you can say that, but when you get older things change because you both have the baggage and you both have the past and you both have mistakes that you made when you were younger and not as wise, and that might be one of them for her.
Yeah, I my thing is the fact that there is access to it for anybody.
Okay.
You know, now look at it like
For
this.
anybody that you don't know, though, it's not someone
Of course,
that
but think
you
about it
know
like
or
this:
is on
if
a
I'm in the
daily.
grocery store with her and some dude walks up to, hey, I remember you from OnlyFans.
Would they though?
Of course,
They would.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, man,
I
see
wouldn't
it.
think they would want to engage their OnlyFans.
Weirdly, they do. I
Wow.
mean, guys are weird in that way.
Well, she
and,
can say, "No, that's not me.
her,
Must be someone that
her
looks
face
like
is
me."
on it. I mean,
If she's 35 and she did it when she was 25, it's gonna look different. She's gonna look different.
it's not going to be that different though. It's just not.
Yeah. Huh.
From 25 to 35, you're not, your facial features are not going to change
Oh,
that much.
yes, huh? Yes.
They just won't.
Okay.
They won't. With makeup and the way skincare has gotten over the years.
I just think the male ego blows that up too much. Like, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be embarrassed, and they know what you look like, nigga. Like, what if it doesn't happen?
Well, see, I don't.
What
think
if we never have to deal with that at all?
to a degree, you will.
Okay.
You know, just because you have to understand, it's our ego because our reputation is tied to that. It's a thing where when men meet, you know, they ask, hey, what do you do for a living? When women meet, it's how is your family and children dynamic? And so for a man to meet another man and be like, really? You're dating a woman that, you know, anybody can see her naked body? It's
some
like
women are some men are proud of that. They're like, yup, and she's hot and blah blah blah.
and you know why they're dating those guys? Because those are the only guys they can get.
Okay.
And that's just the way it is.
Okay, true.
Yeah, they can't go after the guys that they actually want. So they're going to settle for those guys because it's like, it's something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I mean, though. Like, I'm not going to sit here and chastise these women and tell them, oh, you're a horrible person. Da, da, da. No, do your thing. Do what you want to do.
They're not horrible people.
No, make your money. I just look at it like, as a man, I wouldn't want the sexual access of my woman to be on the internet for anybody to see.
I get that.
I want my sexual access to regardless if she's had 6 partners or 15 partners. It's like those people were intimate to her. They don't have, let's say, it's not a worldwide access kind of thing. It was just that one person, and they had a relationship. They had a connection. They had something real to them. Yes, people are going to have those histories and stuff like that, but it is no way the same as putting your naked body online for millions to see.
It's hard for me to fathom. So yeah, I get it.
I mean, think about it. I'd rather have a girl who it's like she's had 15 partners, you know, see her naked, or over 1 million people see her naked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it has the screenshot saved
exactly.
in their favorites.
These guys have screenshots. Yeah. These guys have videos. It hits your ego 100% because when I meet another man and I have that woman on my side, you know, he looks at it like, oh, damn, you know, and a lot of guys won't even want to deal with you business wise because they look at it like, she represents you. And if you're co-signing that, no thanks, because that's going to affect me now, you know, and it's just the way it is. It's how men are in business. You know, if you want to chalk it down to our ego, sure, most definitely, because I'm not going to sit there and let the sexual access of, you know, my partner be out on the internet. I just, you know, think about it. If your guy's, you know, wiener and nuts were out for every girl to see, don't you think you'd be kind of upset? Like that.
I'm just not.
That's just for me.
Wrapped up in all that. Like, I don't care what people think, to be honest. But I don't have all of the whole world. I don't have that issue, so maybe if I did, I would care. But
it's like having the world's eyes on your relationship, kind of thing, just because of who she is or who she was.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because it's like,
maybe if it was a constant, you know, bother, and I had to deal with that on a constant basis with my partner, maybe that would, you know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's one of those things where it's like, I can either be with her and risk the possibility of it happening, or I can be with a girl that doesn't have that, and I never have to worry about it ever. You know, that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, yeah. And you're young enough to decide that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of older men that think the same way, but hey.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay. So our next one is, am I the asshole? Oh, this is a Patreon submitted one.
Oh.
So this one is directly to you. They want your, feedback to this. So, if you want to get your submission onto the show, go to patreon.com / am I the asshole podcast. $3 a month. You can send as many scenarios as you want. And when I have guests on, I always ask my patrons to send in scenarios for the guests to react to give advice to, whether it is your scenario or someone else's scenario, doesn't matter. So here we go. Am I the asshole for being upset my husband slept with my best friend before we were married?
Yeah.
My husband and I started dating when I was 17 and he was 20. We dated for 11 years before we got married.
Okay.
I met my best friend when I was 12. When she moved next door, we were still very close and I talked to almost every day. So we're still very close and I talked to her almost every day. When I was dating my husband, there were several times I suspected something going on and it actually caused a rift between my friend and I. They both tell me I was being jealous or crazy and they were just friends. She had dated his brother around the same time, and I was told my boyfriend would never mess with someone that was intimate with his brother. In my gut, I always knew I felt like something was not right. Yeah, it sounds like you getting gaslit.
Intuition, right there.
Oh, yeah. Girls' intuition is a big thing.
Spot on.
I eventually stopped speaking to her over this issue and things she's had done to other friends. She did change over the years. We repaired our friendship based on those changes and have remained very close over the last 13 years friends. She is like a sister to me. We even have girls' nights often, spending the night at her house or one of our other friends' homes.
No.
Well, I mean, it was a couple years had passed.
So this happened when they were kids.
Yes. So recap for a little bit. So she's 17.
Okay.
And her guy is 20.
Oh, okay.
All right. And so she met her best friend at 12. So from 12 to 17, they were best friends.
Okay.
Now, when they were dating for these 11 years, her best friend dated her man's brother.
Yes.
Now, the boyfriend said, I would never mess with a girl who is dating or have dated my brother.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't do that. But she has her little intuition like, it seems a little sus. Seems like you guys are gaslighting me.
So she had thought that back then.
Yeah, she thought that back then. She never really confirmed it. She never really knew because they were calling her crazy and jealous and things like that. But, then it created a wedge between her and her friend. So they stopped being friends.
Okay.
Then a few years later, she changed, she's a new woman. They repaired their friendship. So now they go on girls trips. They hang out at each other's houses, things like that.
That's a no for me. No, ma'am.
All right. So, let's see. My husband and I have been married for 17 years and things have been pretty good. So the other night, my husband and I were talking about things from the past, being very open about random things. He proceeds to tell me about another childhood best friend that asked him to basically hook up along with another friend that I was close to at the time. I was shocked by this. I told him it was in the past, but I couldn't believe they did this to me. He says he didn't do anything with either of them. Then I asked about the friend in question, so the best friend, told him I knew about some things because she tried to tell me. He then admits they kissed. I knew there was more, so I asked her about it. Yeah, they gaslit her. I told her he confessed to hooking up, kissing, not really sex, but kissing.
Okay.
Yeah, with her. And she admitted to sleeping with him. So he said we kissed. She said they had sex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sleeping with him at random times over the course of our relationship. So.
What?
Yeah. She said it was all prior to us getting married, but they were dating.
Oh, you are fired.
I'm upset and hurt. Even though she says it was a mistake, it's hard to believe this. A mistake happens once. She says it shouldn't matter because it was before we got married.
It shouldn't matter.
And it was a long time ago. Well, this is old news to him, but it's new to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Almost definitely. I wouldn't have married him if I'd known the truth. I have been gaslit over years that I was being jealous and crazy when they had sex behind my back. Instead of him apologizing and feeling bad about the situation, he's been upset that I'm making an issue of this, saying he's a good husband, good dad, and I'm in the wrong for letting this be an issue in our marriage. Wow. My friend is complete opposite, apologizing, being honest about details, asking forgiveness, and saying she doesn't deserve it, and saying how she always wanted to tell me but feared of losing me as a friend again. It would be one thing if it weren't my friend, but it hurts knowing they had sex and kept it a secret all these years. It hurts knowing I've been having sleepovers, sharing life with this person. I feel like I looked stupid, like I'm a big joke. Am I overreacting, or is it's messed up? Love, Roxanne, on the show.
Oh my God. So many things. So many things. I can relate to this story. I had a friend when you were a baby that tried to sleep with your dad. And of course, he told me about it, pushed her away or whatever. She was cut off that day. She denies it. But I'm believing my man over you.
Oh, most definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So she goes on with her life. Cheats on her husband. She was married at the time. Has a baby with the guy she cheated with, and they obviously got divorced. So yeah, definitely I believe that. I believed your dad. I believed it before that, but now that was my confirmation,
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know what to believe and whatever, and she's trying to convince you, and he's whatever. So she didn't have any confirmation in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I understand why she befriended her again. Yeah. So I understand why she befriended her again, because there is a margin of error that this didn't happen.
Yeah.
And if it did, we were kids or something. Mm-hmm. But once she found out the truth, and that it was multiple times, and they were adults at those times, and it was behind her back, making her look stupid. He's still trying to gaslight her by saying, you're making this a big deal, and it's not a big deal. I'm such a great dad. You're a shit husband, but you're a great dad. Like, I don't care. Go be a great dad, but you're not going to be with me.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just, I feel so bad for her. Mm-hmm. She hopefully left him, I would hope.
Yeah.
And moved on with her life to be happy and wonderful and successful, because let me tell you, sister, your success and happiness is your revenge.
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do nothing to this man but be happy without him. I tell people this a lot of times. I'm like, when you're in a relationship with somebody and you guys are having issues and you cannot get to them, like you are communicating as much as you can, you are talking to them, and they're just not getting it, leave.
Yeah.
Let them see life without you.
Yeah.
And then when they see life without you, they're going to be like, oh shit, I'm realizing what I'm missing.
Yeah. Or seeing you with someone else.
Ooh,
that you're giving what they used to have.
Yeah.
Burns them up. Burns them up. But you at that point, obviously you're not doing that as a get back. You're doing that to move on and be happy.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's
so
just,
let's be clear.
Yeah, that's just
right?
icing on the cake though. You know, we're talking about the icing on the cake.
You
The
don't-
actual cake is you moving on and being happy and doing your thing. But the icing on the cake, you know, the creme de la creme is, you know, your happiness.
They're going to naturally feel like that.
Oh, most
you know,
definitely.
they're naturally going to be like, I fucked up, you know.
Big time.
But
Big time.
wow, she has a long journey. If she's in the beginning of this, still trying to detach and move forward, healing from the total, you know, devastation of the lies and thinking she was crazy. And he's obviously still trying to lie to her.
Yeah.
Right. But the friend is, you know, giving her grace and, you know, she can't handle the guilt anymore. I assume.
Yeah.
And that's why she told her.
Yeah.
But
I know.
it's hard. It's I feel for her, but you know, being picking yourself up, all the pieces that are on the floor, picking them all up, gather them all up, girl.
Yeah.
Gather them up.
Yeah.
Put it in your suitcase and walk forward every day, one step at a time. And before you know it, this situation will be this small in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And it will have no effect over your life.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to take all you have, every bit of your strength that you have left from being manipulated and mentally beaten. It's going to take whatever you have left in you and all the support that you can gather, friends, family, coworkers, whatever you have around you. And whatever motivation, if you have kids, if you have just yourself, you wanting to get yourself right and happy. Start with those things.
Yeah.
Building those things in yourself. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to do.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Whew.
But you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the alternative. Right? And that's to be in this horror of a marriage.
Yeah.
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 And you may move on and you could be maybe better friends with him than you were partners. Maybe.
It's a tough breakup.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I think
if you never have to see him again, say you don't have kids and you don't have ties, okay, great. Cut and move, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But if you have to co-parent, then that's a whole different
True. That's a
place
whole different
in your
ballgame.
heart that you have to come from
to
co-parent with that
most
type of
definitely,
person.
yeah.
But it is possible.
Yeah. Most definitely. Okay. So we have another Patreon submission. This one is titled "Girlfriend Got Matching Tattoos with Another Guy." Let's see. My girlfriend works as an assistant manager at a fast food chain. When she started working there, she made a few friends, etc.
Okay.
She gets along well with one of the guys. We'll call him Jason. Her and Jason became friends.
Okay.
They have each other's phone numbers, etc. They usually would only see each other during work, occasionally hang out after work, usually with some other people. So never alone.
Okay.
I've spoken to her about Jason a handful of times. Nothing ever too interesting. Basically just her letting me know he exists and they're friends. Cool with me. She's allowed to have friends. One day, she comes home with a tattoo on the back of her arm that says Player 2. It says, I asked her what Player 2 means. She says she got a matching tattoo with Jason and he got Player 1.
Is Jason gay?
Well, I don't know. In the same spot on his arm. So he got Player 1.
I would hope.
And then in the same spot, she got Player 2. She got matching tattoos, Player 1 and Player 2 tattoos with the guy. I questioned her about it. Why didn't you tell me you were going to get this? You got matching tattoos with a random dude before me?
Oh, man.
No good answers. She didn't see a problem with it.
Oh, wow.
My issue with it is not only did she choose this guy to get matching tattoos with rather than me, her boyfriend, the tattoos literally say player 1 and player 2. That seems like the kind of tattoo you get with your boyfriend, not with a random guy.
Gosh.
Am I overreacting? This is going to be on her arm forever, matching with another guy. Additional information, we've lived together and have been dating for just under 4 years. Thank you for any advice.
That's a long time. 4 years.
So they've been dating for 4 years. She meets this guy, Jason, and they've never hung out alone. They've always gone out with friends.
That you know of.
Yeah, I know. At this point, it's like, dude.
That's a little more personal
Yeah.
than just group friends.
Yeah.
Did the other people get it? No. So there's something more.
Yeah. And she feels like she didn't do anything wrong. She's like, what's the big deal?
Of course not. Right. Because I'm trying to gaslight you into
Yeah.
thinking everything's great and he's just a guy from work.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. No, we go out with a group of people. Have you confirmed these details? That there's a group of people, that there's, if she's not telling you details about this person because she doesn't want you to know about this person.
Ooh.
So red flag 1
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
Because the more you know about this person, the more you're going to know that he's her type.
Oh, man. Oh,
Okay.
I never thought about that.
So
Dropping knowledge.
Red flag 1 is she glosses over. It's not a big deal. It's not a thing. It's nada.
Yeah.
Because if it was really your friend, like I'm sure she talks about her girlfriends like that. Oh my gosh, she's dating so-and-so and she does this and she does that. And oh my God, can you believe that? You know? But if she's like, oh no, that's just Jason. You know, like the shame that she feels won't allow her to, because he'll see it in her eyes when she talks about him.
Yeah.
So she cannot talk about him without smiling
or glowing.
or
Yeah.
having excitement. So she just shuts that down. Women are master cheaters.
Yeah. Women,
She knows this about herself.
Yeah, women are judo masters when it comes to
100
social
if you want to.
interactions.
Yeah, if you want it to be dirty, you could be really good at it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
A liar, a manipulator,
Yeah.
most, maybe a little narcissistic, right? But yeah, because you would have to be in order to go to this level of betrayal, and you are still coming home to me,
Yeah.
loving me, having a relationship with me, and doing this other thing, like, and then flaunting it in my face, like he knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The audacity! What?
What advice would you give this guy on his relationship?
Get your receipts.
Yeah.
See if what she's saying is actually what it is.
Look, I don't condone snooping, but
I
would
don't
ask.
say snoop. I say let me go with you.
Yeah, I would ask for
Yeah.
her phone. To be honest with you.
Well, no, not even that. Let me go with you during these group things. I would like to be a part of this friend group.
Oh, and just see how they act.
That.
I feel like she would purposely distance, but I think he would show the true colors. 'Cause
Maybe
he would,
so.
Yeah, he'd be, obviously like if they have insider jokes or whatever,
Yeah,
or
yep.
he'd be like trying to touch her and shit like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I can see
I'm not
that
a
too.
big go through your phone kind of person.
Yeah, I know.
That's a little far.
My
for
thing
me.
is she went so far to get a tattoo with a dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, the least you can do is let me see the conversations.
And
between them.
if your whole insides are just sick to your stomach when that happened, your heart drops to the bottom of the floor, like that is the universe telling you something.
Yeah.
Something is up, right? And you need to figure that out. That's it. Like you just need to figure out what's going on, what's happening, why are you feeling this way? Why, take out what she's telling you and go with the facts.
Yeah.
Right? Is she really at this place? Is she really doing this thing? How are they at work? If it's a restaurant or if it's a public place, go and see for yourself. Be more involved, because the one thing that why women can get away with this, one, men are complacent, right? To believe whatever she says.
Oh, most definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
And they don't want to put in that effort to find out. And maybe they're comfortable, or maybe she makes more money than him, or maybe, I don't know the reason. But, he has allowed this, even though he was uncomfortable with it from the start, I assume.
Yeah, to a degree, because, you don't really want your girl having guy friends just under the assumption of like, look, I trust my girl, but I don't trust the guy.
Yeah.
Like I can trust my girl to,
And why can't I know the guy? Why can't we be friends? Why can't he come over? Why can't we,
Yeah.
If that's truly what it is.
Yeah.
Why am I not involved in that?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dang. Whew.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Hopefully you can figure that one out, my guy.
Hopefully.
All right. So we got our last scenario for the episode. This is our last Patreon submission.
All right.
Oh, this one has your name in it. Roxanne, I suspect my boyfriend is a pedo, and I don't know what to do.
What's a pedo? Just be clear.
A man who likes little children.
Oh, pedophile.
We can't really say that on YouTube, but sure.
Oh, you can't say that?
Yeah, we kind of got to keep it a little family friendly. There's a little words that, like,
okay,
like RAPE. They don't really like that word. We change it to grape and, pedo.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, pedo to kind of keep it a little.
Okay.
It's the whole family friendly thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. We can get away with some stuff or to a degree, but
Okay.
try to keep it.
So
PG.
you think he's like, okay.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm M, a now 18 years of age girl.
Okay.
I don't know where to start. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years now. I was 16 and he just turned 30.
Oh, whoa.
At the time,
Clutch my
I
pearls.
lived with him since
Oh,
I
wow.
was 16.
Wait, what? She lived with him?
Yeah, she lived with him. So she's 16, he's 30.
Where is your parents?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds bad, but yes, I'm naive. In the 5th month of our relationship, I found child pornography on an SD card that was inside his phone. He said he used the wrong SD card that belonged to a friend of his who he has lived with. Then he broke it through the middle, so it was broken forever.
Okay.
Then there was nothing wrong for 6 months until the terrible day that I found it for the second time.
SD card.
No, there was just more
porn.
Other
Okay.
pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said it was a virus and that he had a friend of his who I also know check it out. I never asked this because I really wanted to believe that it was a virus.
Yeah.
Because no way this could be real, right? Doesn't this only happen to
Poor
other people?
girl.
Aren't I a special exception for him? Like he said, after 12 months or so, I wasn't feeling well and I thought I'd check his search history on his PC. I saw 3 websites with you can guess what.
Yikes.
His friend he blamed the SD card on has been living with us for 2 weeks now. I don't have to say any of this since I don't pay rent according to him. And the websites were searched overnight and he said it was probably his friend and that he would talk to him. But when I asked his friend if they had talked, he said no, and that he didn't know what I was talking about.
Gosh.
He also asked what the talk would have been about. I didn't answer. I don't know what to do anymore and who to believe. I'm scared and I can't cry because I'm so shocked. Who should I believe? And even if it is real, is it his friend? Why is it tolerated by him? And if it's not his friend, what do I do? Where do I go? My relationship with my parents is unstable, so I can't go back.
Wow.
How do I find out who's telling the truth?
Okay,
Damn, this is like an episode of a crazy TV show.
okay, so you yourself are a young girl.
Yeah.
So you thinking he's a pedophile, well, you are the victim because you're when
16.
you got to get right. You moved in when you were 16. When did you know him? Were you 14, 13, 12? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So your intuition, which I know you don't trust yet because you don't have a lot of experience with it, is right on because you are what he is preying on. Soon as you get too old for him, he's moving on to the next person. Trust and believe that. So if you have to stay in this relationship because of financial or whatever, what have you, get yourself together.
Yeah.
Okay. Financially.
Yeah.
Doing that for yourself, gaining some independence. If you can't wait that long, there's women's shelters.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. They will help you, get you schooling, all kind of stuff to get yourself together, to get you out of this situation, right? But I say this to all the women, married, not married, good marriages, bad marriage, whatever. Have your own. However small it is yours.
Yeah.
Your degree, your job, your own savings account, whatever is just yours that he has no access to. Every woman in that I'm talking to right now needs to have this because one, it gives you a sense of freedom. It gives you choice. Money is freedom. Money is, it allows you to choose. And it could also be your prison. If it's not yours.
Yeah.
Right? So free yourself, sister. Free yourself. You need to come to grips with the reality that you're living in. You are the victim of a pedophile. Whether he is having sex with these girls on the internet or whatever, he obviously likes young girls. He likes you. You are the young girl.
Yeah.
You are all the proof he needs. You are all the proof that you need to determine whether this is real or not, because you're living it. Okay, so you just need to come to terms with that. You need to make sure that you are, because right now you're trying to excuse it away. Right? You're trying to believe the lie.
Yeah. And he's selling them to you.
Oh, he's selling because you know why? You know why he likes young girls? Because he can manipulate them. This is why he chooses young women. He is insecure himself, doesn't think that or doesn't have what it takes to be with a real woman. She's not going to put up with all that. You know, young women all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
And we'll be grateful for it. Right? So you are 18. Get it together. Get your life together. Pick up all your self-esteem that you have and go.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You are the victim. He is a pedophile. Say that to yourself. And that's your motivation to leave. That's my advice.
Man, yeah.
I'm so sorry you're going through this.
I mean, there's nothing I can add to it. I mean, couldn't say it better myself. It was a tough situation. When I read it, I only read the titles of these things. So that way, we get the raw, scope of everything during the show. But I didn't think it was this serious.
Yeah.
When she sent it in, I'm like, wow, this feels like a cry for help more than anything. But
I think she just needs permission, and you have permission. I give you permission to set yourself free from this situation.
Yeah.
If you have any access to a phone, to internet or anything, look up your local women's shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Leave when he's gone and don't come back. Go as far as you can if that's possible.
Yeah.
Use every little bit of money to get an Uber if you don't have a car.
Yeah.
Like, there's things that you can do. I know you don't have family, but you have you. You understand? And you need to invest in you. And this is when you do it. It ain't going to be easy. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But this is building your muscle for womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
Womanhood. You're a girl right now. And it's going to hurt, just like when you work out, you're sore the next day. It hurts, but you're growing and you're becoming. Please go.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I didn't think we would end such a great show on such a
I cry for you.
dark.
I cry for you.
Yeah. Whew. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, enjoying all of the crazy antics we talked about today. Hope you guys laughed at all the funny scenarios that we had through the thread. And please keep supporting the show. I love it so much. You guys have been making my dreams come true with this thing. And it's crazy to see the amount of growth that I have experienced. Yeah. We looked at the stats of the podcast before, starting
Incredible.
This wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And I can't wait to see how far this is going to go.
Me too.
And where it'll end up at the end. But it's all thanks to you guys. And I appreciate that. Please keep downloading. Please keep liking. Rate the podcast. Please do that. Rate it, because
we want to know.
Yeah. The more you rate it, the better. Definitely leave comments for my mom. Mm-hmm. She loves hearing about the comments. I was reading the comments from the last video. She loved what you guys had to say and your little inputs and this and that.
Yeah.
So please do. What was your thoughts on the episode for today?
Yeah. Oh, my well, I mean, obviously that list was hella hilarious.
What about the thread of, sleeping with your coworker?
Stop that. Stop it. Just stop it. Please.
Oh, goodness.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Find other ways.
Yeah.
You're at work a lot of your life, but you're there to work.
Yeah.
Not get your rocks off. Okay, there's too many. Like, I work with young people and they are too distracted. I'm like, hello, let's work here. Mm-hmm. Like, I need you. We are a team. Let's get it together. Focus. I don't know how many times I have to say that during a day. Is to focus, get their mind back where it needs to be, where it is at. Leave your fantasies to your personal time. Think about it then. But right now, you're here to work and be a boss and do what you got to do. Make your money and go home. Mm-hmm. And find your partner then. Worry about that then.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
But yeah, and then, M touches my heart. Love her.
Yeah.
If nobody loves you, I do.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mom, I'll be your mom. Like, I'm a mom to every person I meet. Mm-hmm. I don't just have 2 kids. I have 2 million now. Right? So because I'm a mom, like, that's what I am. And that doesn't stop because I don't know you. Right? Or because I haven't seen you or met you in real life,
Yeah.
I'm a mom to everybody that comes to me with a bleeding heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys heard it here. Again, thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate it. Patreon.com Am I the Asshole podcast. $3 a month. You guys can send in your scenarios, as many scenarios you want, for $3 a month. And when I have guests on, I will definitely post a question on there, and you can send your scenarios just like these three lovely people did. And I'll swing it to the guest, and when it's just you and I,